All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at evaluating polynomials. And just as a little refresher, we're using function notation. So when we have this idea of p of x, that is just a simple substitution for y. And what it means is when I want to evaluate this function at x is equal to 5, this becomes this, which is p of 5 is equal to 2x plus 4. All this means to us is when I have 5 in this position, that means wherever I have x, I'm going to substitute 5. All right? So if I have p of 5 is equal to 2x plus 4, that means wherever there's x, I'm going to substitute 5. So that means I have 2 times x. X is now 5. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a set of parentheses because it indicates the multiplication that's happening, plus 4. So remember, if there's nothing between the 2 and the x, there's multiplication going on. This means I have 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 4, which is equal to 14. If I were to go ahead and change this and say I want p, if I want p of 2, now this is going to change my equation. So now, wherever there was x, I'm going to have 2 times x is now 2 plus 4, which gives me 4 plus 4, which gives me 8. So depending upon the value I assign for the variable, will determine the output or the evaluation value I get from, from this. We're going to look at a couple more examples here. We have done this before with expressions, so this is not anything new. And let's go ahead, I'm going to look at p of x is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 4 when x is equal to 2. Okay, that means I'm evaluating p of 2, which means wherever there's an x, I'm going to go ahead and substitute 2. So that means that I have this, and I like to go ahead and use parentheses as usual before I plug values in. And for each of these parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and plug in 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and follow order of operations to go ahead and solve this. Order of operations says I have to do exponents first. So I have 2 squared is 4, plus 3 times 2, which is 6, and minus 4. If I continue to follow order of operations, I go ahead and perform addition and subtraction from left to right. So I have 10 minus 4, which is going to give me 6. So p of 2 in this case is equal to 6. Let's go ahead and change that value. I want to go ahead and evaluate p of -3. Now remember your rules of integers for this. This might be a little bit tricky. So just rewrite the equation with parentheses where the x should be. So I have x squared plus 3x minus 4. And in each of these parentheses where I said x and I put a set of parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and put -3. Now the first part of this -3 squared means I have -3 times -3. And negative times negative gives me a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. I also have 3 times negative 3. Now a positive times a negative gives me a negative, so I'm going to put a minus. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 4. Now 9 minus 9 is 0. 0 minus 4 gives me a negative 4. So P of negative 3 is equal to negative 4. I'm just going to go ahead and do one more because it's a little higher power. It might seem a little intimidating. So last one here, I'm going to do a P of x. And this is going to be equal to x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 3 when x is equal to 2. So that means I'm trying to evaluate P of 2. Which means every place where there's an x, I'm going to replace it with 2. Okay? So I have x cubed. Notice I'm just writing parentheses. Plus 2x squared. So everywhere there's an x, I'm putting parentheses. Plus 3 times x minus 3. And in every single one of those parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and put the value of 2. Once I do that, it's a simple of going ahead and following my order of operations, working with my exponents first. Okay, so I have 2 to the third power. Remember, 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8. Plus, I have 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. And 4 times 2, which is 8. I have 3 times 2, which is 6, minus 3. And I'm going to continue going left to right, going ahead following my order of operations. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Plus 6 minus 3. 16 plus 6 gives me 22. And I have 22 minus 3. 22 minus 3, okay, gives me 19. So in this case, P of 2 is equal to 19. We're going to look a little bit more at this a little bit later on, but this is a good place to start off from. I highly recommend try working these out again without looking at the video and see if you get the exact same answer, and I will